So Donald Trump and his people are absolutely imploding today, as it looks like the wheels are falling off the bus and people are abandoning ship. That's the subject of today's video. And check out this headline: Heritage staff in open revolt over leader's defense of Tucker Carlson. And basically, long story short, people are quitting this Heritage Foundation. If you don't know, they're the ones who wrote Project 2025, which was basically the plan to burn down America. That's basically what it ends up being. And as it turns out, even Laura Loomer, who's one of those right-wing tweeter people, or I want to call it, she's even saying, why does it feel like a demonic force has taken over the political right? I always laugh when I read this stuff because it's so dumb. But this is who these people are, right? Okay, we're talking about demonic forces today. It just feels so strange these days. Not sure how to describe it, but so many people just ooze darkness and deceit these days. This is a feeling I felt since Charlie Kirk died. People just seem possessed. All right. And then you go over to the Heritage Foundation, and basically the president thing, I guess, was defending Tucker Carlson, inviting a racist dude on the podcast or whatever named Fuentes. And I'll just read a bit so you get a sense. It says, the Heritage Foundation is erupting an open revolt against its president, Kevin Roberts, as the right-wing think tank struggles to deal with internal and external anger over defense of former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. It's just a circus, you know? I mean, what do you expect? You get a bunch of greedy people, a bunch of self-serving individuals filled with sexists and racists. What do you think is going to happen to these people? It's completely unsustainable. And I guess Tucker Carlson invite this Nick Fuentes dude. He's some young kid, college dropout, just like Charlie Kirk. Nothing surprising here. And seriously, both these guys are college dropouts. And essentially what it ends up being, they just say a bunch of racist, sexist stuff on the podcast or whatever. And then some of the staff are like, whoa, you know, I was okay with some kind of racism, but other kinds of racism, man, I just don't want to do that. and that's what ends up being. People start quitting. And so then they have staff meetings. Okay, we're not going to be that racist, or maybe we're going to be this racist. And then part of the discussion was, okay, I get that Nick is racist, but he's got all these racist followers who give us money, and, you know, we should like stick with them and whatever. And so some staff are happy with that and some are not. And that's what it boils down to. And when you look at what the it really is a clown circus. I just know no way to put it. And when you look at what the Trump people are doing, I mean, this is just on the White House website. It says on November 5th, 2024, the American people reclaimed our government. Really? Okay, so now we're living in the past again. Like, and then they were tweeting out stuff about, hey, it's a 1 anniversary of, you know, Donald Trump winning the last election. It's just like living in the past. And then he takes these weird video pictures of like this, I don't know, time travel tunnel, whatever you want to call this thing. And then they're tweeting out about mutilation. Oh, we're going to save you from mutilation. You know, here's the thing, guys. If you want to win in politics, now I'm just being frank with you, and I'm talking about on a long-term basis, something that's sustainable. Talk to the people about things they truly care about. Yes, you can wave the dog whistles, or whatever you want to call it, and wave the dog, you know, racist flags as much as you want. That might be fine temporarily, but in the long term, talk about jobs and talk about the economy. Address things that people really care about. And this is what you have. I mean, this is the Wall Street Journal today. Economic anger once again punishes the party in power, right? So things aren't going great. Young people are like, man, I can't afford a house at all. Look at the prices of everything. People in you know, hourly and jobs are just like, I haven't gotten a raise for a while. And what's Trump saying that things are cheap? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you just look around and just things cost too much and the jobs don't pay enough if you can even get a job. That's what's going on. And so, you know, when you look at the exit polls, and these are the major races that we've been talking about, be it the governor of Virginia race, New Jersey, or the mayor race in New York City, basically there were huge margins of victory, right? And then when you look at, and this is what this chart shows you, among voters citing economic reasons as the main issue, right? So if that was your most important issue, why you're turning up the polls, what you're voting for, then you had a massive lead on why you chose the Democratic candidate, right? So people who thought economic issues were their top issue voted like a 37-point margin for Zohran Mamdani. That's big. That's really big. For the New Jersey governor, you know, Cheryl, it was a 33% margin. It's big. And then you had the Virginia governor, right? Spanberger, 24% margin. It's the margins are huge, and Republicans, and if they're going to stick with their racist ideology and sexist stuff, it's not going to go anywhere, and that's why this heritage thing becomes a big deal. That the wheels are falling off the bus. Now, not only that, this is really interesting. This was actually the Wall Street Journal, and they put together a chart of looking at the arguments. If you listen to some of the stuff, you can see my video we just made yesterday regarding the Supreme Court and the tariffs. And they rated where do the Supreme Court justices, where are they on the tariff situation? So they have different categories here. You have very or somewhat skeptical of the tariffs. Then you got more receptive of the tariffs, and then mixed or unclear. And as it stands right now, 6 of them, if you just listen to their arguments, what was being said, are skeptical of the tariffs, right? It doesn't look good for Trump and his signature policy of taxing you more with the tariffs, right? And I guess 1 is receptive to it, so I guess it's Alito, and then 2 are mixed or unclear. So even if the 2 mixed or unclear, swing over to the pro-tariff Trumpy land, that's not enough. I think there's a high chance these things get overturned, and then you're going to have a fight over the money. And you look around of what Trump is up to and his people, and just the wheels are falling off the bus. We talked about this yesterday. Duffy comes out. That's the transportation dude that used to be on MTV, and he's like, yo, we're going to have to reduce flights by 10%, right? Flight capacity 10%. And this is going to be at 40 different airports. They didn't release a list right away. So I actually went to the website. This is the FAA. It says portions of the Department of Transportation are currently in shutdown furlough status due to lapse in appropriations. Please continue to monitor this page for updates, okay? On the DOT. And then you go to the Department of Transportation and you get the same thing. There's no list. There's no updates. The government's closed. I think we're day 37 of the shutdown. So I had to find a possible list of the airports being affected by the cancellations. There's 40 of them. This was on CBS. And they said, hey, we talked to someone over at DOT. This is a work in progress. But I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being someone similar to this. So if you've been looking for a list of who could be affected, and I think a lot of people are gonna be, this is gonna be your local airport. I'm throwing up on screen. I can read through some of these. You can see big ones here. It's gonna be Boston, Baltimore, Charlotte, Cincinnati, Dallas. If you want to talk about Anchorage, this one's Atlanta, Denver, Washington National, Dallas, Detroit, Newark. I'll also finish it. Fort Lauderdale, Honolulu, so it's Hawaii, Houston, Washington Dulles, George Bush in Houston again, Indianapolis, New York, Las Vegas. This is all our major airports, basically. LAX, LaGuardia, right? New York, Orlando, Chicago, Memphis, Miami, Minneapolis, Oakland, Ontario International, Chicago, Portland, that's PDX, that's my hometown, Philadelphia, Phoenix, San Diego, Louisville, Seattle, SeaTac, Seattle Tacoma International, San Francisco International, Salt Lake, Teterboro, and Tampa, right? 40 airports. These are our biggest airports. Basically, it's all the big ones were included that are going to be part of the shutdown. The wheels are completely falling off of the Trump train. Then you have this. And this is interesting because I've actually never seen a chart like this before, and I wanted to share it with you. It just came out. It says map shows airports hit by worst by delays amid FAA warning. So this is a map, and basically this was on November 5th, and early in the morning at 9 a.m., there was 163 delays, 7 cancellations. And it'll change throughout the day, right? Then you go to 2 p.m., same day, right? November 5th. You got 395 delays, I guess, across the country, 12 cancellations. And then by the evening, things start to increase. Then you got 615 delays, 27 cancellations. And the reason why you're looking at this map is Friday, I guess, is when this cuts are gonna kick in, and it looks like airlines and airports weren't really notified of this stuff. I mean, it's done all haphazardly, and this is where we're at. And I was looking at this. It says here's how many flights at major U.S. airports are on the chopping block with Luma FAA cuts due to the shutdown, and basically it's independent agencies because remember the government shut down, and Duffy and transportation, they're not really telling you much. You have to go to independent to estimate, and just to give you just a flavor of what we're looking at. So something like, say, Atlanta's airport, okay? That could be 104 flights were gone, right? 17,000 seats. In Dallas, you're looking at, cancellation of 96 flights. Denver, 95 flights. Maybe in LAX, 72 flights will be canceled, right? 12,000 seats. They're estimating because the government's not doing their job, so I guess you got private agencies to do it. Charlotte, North Carolina, Phoenix, Houston, maybe 60 flights will be canceled. New York, right? The ones there, maybe 50 to 60 flights canceled. And people were actually writing in the comments on our channel yesterday, like, hey, I'm planning to fly for holidays, or hey, I have to fly for here, and I wonder if I'm going to be affected. And I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. I can see the airports that are probably going to get affected. It's 40. It's a lot. And how these games are played, like when you cancel something or change the schedule of one, it ripples across the whole network. And you're talking about like during the holiday season, which is what, Thanksgiving is in a couple weeks from now. This is just mind-blowingly how incompetent these people are. And then you've got this longest shutdown in history, costs U.S. economy about $15 billion each week. And at this stage in the game, I'll just be frank with you guys, I wouldn't be shocked if Trump's like, you know what, let's keep the government shut down for another year. I'm going to lose the midterm, so I might as well close everything while I can. I can do more crypto scams. I can do more money laundering. I can do more, whatever tomfoolery, build 10 ballrooms if I want, because the government shut down and no one's going to stop me. I mean, I guess that's his thinking here. I mean, this whole thing is absolutely nuts. The dude's living in the past. You can see it like on what they tweet. And then their main influencers talking about whether or not the political right is, a bunch of demons and possessed, whatever. That's where we are right now. I just, how about this? We just had an election. More Americans are saying than not. And the side, the Republicans, right-leaning people, whatever, they're dealing with the fact they're a bunch of losers. I'll just put it that way. And I hope this can turn around quicker than not. But this is where we're at. So I'd like to hear your guys' thought. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.